Let me start why I became doctor, medical doctor first. Well, I was suffer from tuberculosis at the age of 13, so the student of middle school. And at that time, I got the tuberculosis test positive. And I was told to take chest X-ray. But at that time, I didn't know about the tuberculosis test X-ray. I felt very scared. I thought I got a very sick, severe illness. So, and doctor told me to take a complete rest in my house, and I was not allowed to go to school for 3 months. And so every day I very scared if I could not recover from the illness. But the doctor came to see me every week, once or twice, to check me. That's old. In old Japan, we had such system. Doctor visit the patient, and whenever I heard the sound doctor made when he stepped up, so I felt very relaxed. I felt very released. So at that time, I want to be doctor because medical doctor is such a person who can be relied on the patient. So I decided to become the doctor. And I entered the department of the medical school, and I was interested in the psychosomatic medicine, the relations between physical illness and psychological factors. And finally, I entered the department of psychiatry. And the first patient I saw after I became medical doctor, he was a patient with bipolar. And I saw him very sad, depressed, and did not eat nothing in the morning, and not speak, no talk, no conversation. But in the evening, he looks like normal. He enjoyed the food, and he laughed when he watched TV. So I was very impressed by the difference between the morning state and the evening. I've got a feeling that there is something, the disorder of the physical function related to the body rhythm, physical rhythm. That's why I was interested in the biological rhythm research. And when I entered the department of psychiatry, the sleep study was very dominant. And in the beginning of the late of 1960, the Dr. Weitzman's group reported a paper which shows that the blood level of cortisol metabolite increased during the latter part of night, which may be related to REM sleep. So our group tried to repeat such a finding. And occasionally, one doctor in the Department of Medicine came back from the United States taking with the technique of radioimmunoassay. So I measured, we happened to try to measure the growth hormone as well as metabolite of cortisol. And after we repeat several cases, we developed take the blood sample repeatedly every 20 to 30 minutes, and we measured growth hormone with a tiny volume of the blood by radioimmunoassay. And we found that growth hormone level jumped up right after the subject fell asleep. So we ordered the subjects stay long, late in the night. Then we could not find out any rise of growth hormone. Maybe you may know that the Japanese proverb said, a baby who sleeps well grows well. So that the finding we made, maybe the scientific evidence of our old proverb. So then the several investigators in the world started to find out that, look at the relationship between sleep and hormone release. And American group found that prolactin and LH related to the release of such hormones related to sleep. And I went to United States, Washington University, St. Louis, 1969, to find out growth hormone releasing factors. And because two groups in United States identified that TRH, the thyroid releasing hormone, just before I went to United States. So I tried to find out growth hormone releasing factors from the hypothalamus of sheep. And we collected the hypothalamus sheep so big amount of sheep hypothalamus, but we failed to find out because there are two factors in the hypothalamus, one of which inhibit the growth hormone release, and another stimulate the growth hormone. So at that time we thought the only growth hormone releasing hormone exists in the hypothalamus. So we could not identify the growth hormone releasing hormone. So, and I came back to Japan and I started to the circadian biological rhythm research using animal in the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute for Neuroscience. And first I look at the development of cortisol rhythm using PAPs. And we developed the taking blood sample, very tiny amount from the tail tip, about 10 microliter, and measure the corticosterone levels by binding protein assays. And I was interested in the if nursing mother, which has a reverse rhythm with the natural mother, can entrain the PAPS rhythm. And we found that the effect of the nursing mother is very large, and in some specific situation, the nursing mother can completely entrain the pups' corticosteroid. While I was doing such experiment, still I was a clinician, and I was interested in the clinical work. So I moved to medical school because my senior friend invited me to, as an assistant professor of the department psychiatry in Shiga University, where the Masako Oka is now the professor. And there I started circadian rhythm of depressed patient using the cortisol measurement or body temperature measurement. And we found that the patient with depression showed a very irregular pattern of the cortisol rhythms. And after they recovered from the cortisol and body temperature rhythm become completely normal. So such a rhythm disorder is state dependent of depression. And I was invited, the director of the Department of Psychiatry in the National Center of Neurology and Psychiatry in Tokyo. So I came back to Tokyo again after 2 years stay in Shiga University. Then I organized a clinical research, rhythm research group together with Professor Honma and other professors. And we named the group Clinical Rhythm Research Groups. And that the first at that time we saw we knew the report from the Rosenthal's group concerning the SAD. So we tried to find out how many patients are there in Japan. So I organized a multi-center study with the cooperation of some 30 university or institute. And we recruited the people by the mass media and look at the effect of light therapy and so on. And in parallel of such a study, we also interested in the sleep-wake rhythm disorders because Weizmann's group reported delayed sleep phase syndrome. Then the same multi-center study group got together, and at that time, Professor Okawa found out that the vitamin B12 recovered the free running rhythm in one patient. So we are very encouraged using vitamin B12 to treat a patient with such rhythm disorders. After that, we studied such subject. We decided to expand our research group more in size and in activity. And there was another research group which conducted biological clock study called Basic Biological Rhythm Research Groups. We discussed to make a new society, chronobiology is Japanese Society of Chronobiology, and with many famous Japanese chronobiologists. And then 13 years ago, we unified that clinical chronobiology research group and basic chronobiology research group. And then we started the Japanese Society of Chronobiology. The first meeting of the society, I organized it in Tokyo. And at that time, I invited Bill Schwartz as a guest speaker. And since then, the chronobiology, in particular in clinical chronobiology, gradually developing in Japan. Dr. Honma and Dr. Hiroshige started the Sapporo Symposium. So we have many good opportunity to communicate with foreign chronobiologists like you very often. And so it also stimulates us, and it's helped us to develop chronobiology study. And I was very fortunate because I became a president of the National Center of Neurology and Psychiatry, which is affiliated with the Ministry of Health and Welfare. And I was positioned which make me possible to negotiate the people decide the yearly budget on the science. So I told the people in the ministry to increase the budget for the research on mental health and neurological study. And some of such budget goes to the research on chronobiology and clinical study of psychedelic disorders. People in the government and people in the big companies are getting aware of the importance of sleep. And because several years ago, an accident happened in Japan. The driver of a bullet train, Shinkansen, fell asleep during the driving the trains and passed away from the place, platform where driver should stop. 100 or 150 meter overrun. So that's become big news in the papers. So the people in the government, also in the big company, are aware of such sleep problem. Then in Japan, the sleep clinic is increasing to check the sleep apnea syndrome. But also, many people, Japanese people are getting aware of the importance of sleep because the shortage of sleep disturbs the mental health of the children and student, and also the aged people. So such knowledge is now widening in Japan. So sleep research is supported by the government with a big budget now.
Is it enough?
Not enough.
Not enough.
And I was a member of the Japan Council of Science, and the council published a report which give us some advice to the government when they decide the plan, national plan. And I made a report entitled The Creation of Somnology and Development of Such Study, published by Japanese Council of Science. Maybe it's also affects the people to get aware of the importance of sleep. Yes, the Tom Ware is the best person. Also, Dr. Weitzman and Dr. Ashoff. I met him many times, and I was very influenced. And you and well, so many people. When we include the clinical department, which conducting the rhythm research, well, more than 20 or more than 30 groups which interested in or involved in the rhythm study.
Focused on?
Yes, focused on chronobiology.
Normal psychiatrists, do they use light? Do they think of it, or do they just use drugs?
Unfortunately, it's not so popular in the whole psychiatry field. But, well, the number of the doctor which by themselves conduct light therapy increasing now.
Do you think we have a chance in the establishment?
Yes, I believe. Yes, and some people are now organizing another group of the light therapy research. So maybe light therapy is getting more popular, but only light therapy may not be enough. We should use a combination of the light therapy and the drug therapy. And light therapy can reduce the amount of the drug, which means reduce the side effect of the drugs. So I hope the light therapy will be getting accepted by many doctors. We try to get the permission of insurance from the government, but still we are not able to succeed. I think the chronobiology is a very important aspect of the physical function and mental function, both. And so when we treat the patient, even with physical or mental dysfunction, we consider always take note of the biological rhythm of the patient all the time. And for example, the effect of the drug maybe depend on the time of the day, and the patient should have some swing of the mood, and the rhythm may be circadian rhythm or monthly rhythm or yearly rhythms. So we always take account of such rhythmicity when we treat a patient. So maybe in near future, much more knowledge and awareness will be more wider and wider, I hope.